Okay, think about all the amazing, expensive electronics we have in our lives. Our computers, our TVs, even our smart fridges, well, they're all vulnerable to this invisible enemy that can strike in a nanosecond. It's called a power surge. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on what this threat really is and, way more importantly, how you can build a solid defense to guard all your gear.
So to get us started, I've got a little bit of a riddle for you. What could a massive, super dramatic lightning strike and, your humble, hardworking refrigerator, what could they possibly have in common? I mean, on the surface, they seem like they're from different planets, right?
And the answer is they are both major sources of power surges. One is this huge, terrifying threat from the outside, and the other? Well, that's a constant, sneaky threat that's generated from right inside your own walls every single day. And here's the thing, both of them can be absolutely lethal to your electronics.
So with these threats coming at us from both the outside and the inside, how in the world do we protect our systems? Well, let's meet the hero of this story, the guardian of our electrical grid, the Surge Protective Device, or as we call it, the SPD.
So, what exactly is an SPD? To put it simply, it's a device that protects our electrical systems from what the pros call transient overvoltages, which is just a fancy way of saying sudden, super brief spikes in power. Now, the key thing to get here is how it works. It doesn't block the extra electricity. Instead, it does something way cleverer. It diverts all that excess current safely away straight to the ground.
That sounds pretty great, but how does it actually happen? I mean, how can this little device react fast enough to catch something that happens in billions of a second? Let's take a look under the hood at this nanosecond switch and see how an SPD really does its job.
Probably the best way to think about it is to imagine a lightning-fast floodgate for electricity. When everything's normal, the gate is totally closed. But the second, and I mean the very nanosecond, a flood of extra voltage shows up, that gate slams open to divert the danger away. And then, once the threat is gone, it closes again. It's this automatic, super intelligent gatekeeper.
Okay, so here's the play-by-play in 4 quick steps. First, when things are normal, the SPD is basically invisible to your system. It has really high impedance. Think of it as electrical resistance, so all the normal current just flows right on by. But then, bam, a surge hits, a massive spike in voltage. Instantly, the device flips a switch. Its impedance drops to almost nothing, creating a brand new, super easy path for all that dangerous energy to get shunted straight to the ground. And just as fast, once that surge is gone, it resets itself, ready to do it all over again.
Now you might be thinking, great, I'll just go buy one of those and I'm all set. But, well, it's not quite that simple. To be truly safe, you need more than just one lone guardian. You've got to build a fortress, a 3-layered shield for total protection.
So, this is the really crucial point. That surge protector power strip you bought at the store, it's not enough, not by a long shot. It's definitely a piece of the puzzle, for sure, but true electrical safety is a coordinated, multi-layered defense where every part works together as a system.
So here it is. This is the architectural plan for our fortress. Protection is broken down into 3 types, and each one is defined by where it is in the system and what kind of threat it's built to handle. You've got Type 1 right at the main service entrance, Type 2 at the distribution panels, and Type 3 right there at the wall outlet. Let's break down what each one does.
All right, first up is the Type 1 SPD. I want you to think of this as the massive, heavy-duty outer wall of your fortress. It gets installed right where the power comes into the building, and it is designed to take the biggest hits. We're talking powerful external attacks, even a direct lightning strike. This is your first and your absolute strongest line of defense.
Next up, we have the Type 2 SPD, our inner courtyard defense. This one lives in your sub-distribution panels. Its job is to catch any surge that might have snuck past the outer wall, but really, its main gig is to protect you from surges generated inside your building. Remember our friend the refrigerator? Every single time a big appliance like an AC unit or a motor kicks on, it creates a little surge. A Type 2 device handles these constant internal threats, which makes it an absolutely critical layer for most buildings.
And finally, we get to the Type 3 SPD. This is the personal bodyguard. This is the one you probably know best. It's the power strip or the little surge protector you plug into the wall. Its job is to provide that last fine-tuned level of protection for your most sensitive and valuable electronics, like your computer or your home theater, basically cleaning up any tiny bits of leftover energy.
What's really cool is that these different layers actually use different technologies to do their jobs. It's all about the right tool for the job, The Type 1 devices, our big outer wall, often use something called spark gaps. Think of them like the big bouncers at a club. They're built for brute force, handling those massive high-energy hits from lightning. But Type 2 and 3 devices? They usually use metal oxide varistors, or MOVs. These are more like precision instruments. They're way faster, more sensitive, and perfect for clamping down on those smaller, quicker surges that threaten our delicate gadgets.
Okay, so we get the fortress strategy. But how do you make sure the guardians you pick are actually up to the task? Let's talk about choosing your champion and why standards and certification are, well, completely non-negotiable.
Look, when you're buying an SPD, you're not just buying a piece of plastic. You're buying a promise of safety. And that promise is verified by international standards. The two big ones you want to look for are IEC 16643-11 and UL 1449. If you see one of those logos on a product, it means it has been through some serious independent testing to prove it can do what it says it can do, and that it will fail safely without, causing a fire. It is your single best seal of approval.
And while you should always check for that specific certification, a lot of the big names in electrical equipment make certified devices. We're talking about brands like ABB, Schneider Electric, Siemens, and Eaton. They're all reputable companies in this field. The main point here is to choose a brand you can trust, one that proudly shows its certification to standards like UL or IEC.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway? It's pretty simple, but it's really powerful. The absolute key to building a secure electrical fortress for all your valuable gear is using a layered protection strategy and making sure you use certified, tested devices at every single level.
And that leaves us with one final question to think about. Your home, your business, it has walls, but are the guards at their posts? It's really worth taking a look at your own setup to see where your defenses might be a little weak. Thanks for joining this explainer.